What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Celestial Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Who will dethrone all the current champions? Very happy I chose to do this after No Mercy. Originally, I was thinking about doing it before, but I am very, very happy I chose after because we have a pretty big one we gotta discuss. Also, I for sure had to do it after the SmackDown on Friday, just in case there'd be a change, and of course there wasn't because a great match that ended disgustingly, and I'm not talking about that cut. Today we will be talking about who will dethrone all the current champions. I'm feeling pretty good on my predictions, so let's get started. And I think there's going to be some that have like 3 or 4 people that could do it. Cody Rhodes here. Now, I think even after WrestlePalooza, there should be an obvious one, and there should be some dark horses. But Cody's title reign, just because there's nothing that we can base it off of, and they love Cody Rhodes, it can be from now, like I would say Survivor Series till SummerSlam. Like, we don't know who will do it. But I am going with who I think should do it, and I think it would make sense storyline-wise when they give him this gap after Crown Jewel. And that is Drew McIntyre. I really do believe Drew McIntyre should do it. Because in my opinion, Drew McIntyre is long overdue for a title reign. I think Drew McIntyre deserves to do it. And rumor has it was supposed to happen at WrestlePalooza, and I hope WWE heard this rumor that it was going to happen and see how many people say, oh my gosh, I wish that happened. Now they think maybe we should do something like this. I could see WWE choosing not to do that at WrestlePalooza because ultimately they want to save it for maybe a Survivor Series, a Royal Rumble, because it'll lead into Mania. So maybe that works. But I think ultimately Cody Rhodes will likely, I really do say this, likely lose to Drew McIntyre. Is that crazy to say? Probably. My dark horse is going to be Gunther, and I think there's a big reason why Gunther could be built up as the scary heel. If he goes and retires John Cena, then he wins the Royal Rumble, and everyone thinks he's going to choose the World Heavyweight Championship. No, he chooses the Universal title from Cody Rhodes. I think that's a big possibility, and I would actually really like to see it. Gunther was like one of the main people that I first said could really dethrone Cody Rhodes at first. So if they don't go the Randy Orton route, the Drew McIntyre route, then I think it's Gunther. But I would say my tier list goes Drew, Randy, and then I would go Gunther, Punk. Don't see Punk though. Tiffany Stratton is super interesting because I think you have to eliminate Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, and mostly everyone pretty much on SmackDown because she's run through them like insanely, and they keep just repeating to go against them. So at this point, it should not happen. So who I go with, and that is Liv Morgan is my dark horse, and Bianca Belair is my favorite. That was awkward. That is Flip. Bianca Belair, I'm going to talk about first. I just think that there is a chance she just runs through him. But here's the thing. Bianca's due for a championship. I think they need a refresh in the SmackDown division, and Bianca's the perfect person to do it. I think also when you look at the future for WrestleMania, what does Bianca do if it's not against Jade Cargill or Rhea Ripley? And for both of those matches, maybe not Jade Cargill, but for Rhea Ripley, they should have a title on the line. So at this point, and I don't see them her winning the World Heavyweight Championship, I'm going to go with the WWE Championship. I think it could happen at a Survivor Series if Tiffany's not with the baby faces. I think it could happen at Saturday Night's main event. I think it could happen at a Royal Rumble. Whatever you want. Maybe even a random SmackDown. I just think that Bianca should win this title here soon. Now, my dark horse, who I'm a little bit stressed about, is Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan is the Royal Rumble winner. And if I'm thinking she's winning the Royal Rumble, then she's going to be my dark horse for even the world. I don't know if I actually did put her there for the World Heavyweight Championship, because I think the fact that she's 1, injured, 2, probably comes back at the Royal Rumble and wins it there, and 3, could be a babyface or heel, makes her very, and I mean very flexible on how we book her. So with Liv Morgan, if she'd come back a babyface, I could see her going for the WWE title and doing a big swerve to really help this division, and finally beating Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania after a, what would it be now, a 400-something day reign? That'd be kind of crazy. Or maybe she just chooses the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. I just think this is the way I want her to go, so I'm going to choose this way. U.S. title Sami Zayn has shifted a lot, in my opinion, after finding out what his intentions were. I think when I first recorded this video is when he just won the US title, like back there for the Dethrone. So now my thoughts and ideas have fully changed for the US title and who could win the US title. I think because it's a US Open challenge and he wants to be just like John Cena, the way they're going to go about this is not with a Aleister Black winning. It's not going to be a, I want to say Carmelo Hayes, but that could be a possibility. It's not going to be, who did I have? Drew McIntyre, a Jacob Fatu. It's not going to be talent that's already been talent. I think the way they go about this is it's going to be a debuting and new champion. So, right after No Mercy, who am I going to pick number one? It's going to be Obafemi. The best thing to do for this US title reign is that Sami Zayn defends it every single week up until mid-November. He loses this title. It's a good title reign still because he's actually defending it. And by the way, he's had some insane matches already. Like, this is a good thing for Sami Zayn to really kick off all the negativity that he's been having around him because they don't know how to book him. And thank goodness they're doing something good right now with him. So they kick that all off. He loses the title to a debuting Obafemi in November. He loses the title, and then he focuses on the Royal Rumble. I think that's the best way you go, right? So I think that's the way, and then he focused on the Royal Rumble. We could see him winning the Royal Rumble because he just had an insane mid-card reign. He's finally going to go after the main title, the only title he doesn't have. I can see it. I can see it happening, and I like it for Obafemi. My dark horse here, and it's only because I could see they push Obafemi even more, and it's not just the U.S. title, it's something else, and instead they go with this guy for the U.S. title, and that's Trick Williams. I mean, it's one or the other for me now. I think Trick Williams does go to the main roster and gets a push. I think it could be with the Vision. I think it could be a U.S. title. I think it could be even the IC title. I just think something's going to happen for Trick Williams. I just hit that crap out of my hand on my desk, and I was going to say I can see Trick Williams going to the main roster, going after the title, and then they have a bigger feud down the line with Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. So these are my predictions. Julia's U.S. title reign is kind of scaring me. I'm not going to lie to you because I think, to be honest with you, I thought she would hold it on until WrestleMania and she would just keep devouring people week by week. That's not happening. And they're not doing a good thing with her where she's really defending and really looking good, whatever. I have Alexa Bliss, but I think it could be somebody else, honestly, because I think a Bliss and Charlotte Flair might be the match for Mania. My dark horse is Jade Cargill. You know, I always thought it would be the WWE Championship, but at this point, I think they might give her the U.S. title. You get a big name on it, a mid-card title for Jade Cargill, and I think, you know, to be honest with you, as the babyface Jade Cargill, and maybe this is, I just realized this could really be the match against her and Bianca. We'll see on that one. But I do believe that if Jade Cargill would go against Julia for this title, Jade Cargill will likely win. And I also have to say, they've kind of hinted at it. So we'll see. And I'm worried this is the match. And you know what? To be honest with you, this could be the Mania match. And I'd be fine with that. I think that's a good Mania match for Jade. But what does Bianca do? I guess it's Rhea, huh? Is it Rhea? But is it just a normal feud between them? I don't know. But then what happens with Io? Is that the Asuka match? Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. I'm gonna go quick with the Wyatt Six. I think I've already talked about it a lot. Some of these are, you know, redos of other past ones. I'm now thinking for some reason with how they're building the bloodline, it's going to be the bloodline because at the end of the day, they're really, really, really building this bloodline like week by week that they're so good and they're going against Wyatt Six. Dark Horse is still going to be Fraxium at the end of the day, and I'm not going to change that because I think in one or the other, I'm going to put Fraxium in a spot. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, nothing has changed with these two. I think it's going to be the Kabuki Warriors, and I think there's a reason why. I think they're going to go Kabuki Warriors first, because they are the heels, and then I think what they do is after that go to Rhea and Io Sky, but I think it's going to be after that. I know they're already going to have the match. I think it's just going to be a rematch of it, but this is what I'm going to choose. But maybe it's the other way around. I think this makes more sense though, right? Ricky Saints, finally, and I mean finally, is NXT champion. And there's an obvious one for me, and that is Javon Evans. I think, listen, should have been the one to dethrone Obafemi. I understand all the people that say that, but I think Ricky Saints was right up there as well. And I think Javon Evans does make a ton of sense to now dethrone Ricky Saints because he's had the SmackDown rub. He's clearly shown that he's like one of the bigger guys on there, and it makes the most sense. Is it a face and face match, or is it someone turning a little tweener heel? I am interested in that. My dark horse is talent that hasn't been signed or TNA talent. Now, I gotta be honest with you. My bigger dark horse that I kind of want to put on here would be like a heel Tony D'Angelo, maybe a Josh Briggs, maybe a Jasper Troy. The one person I keep coming back to is Joe Hendry, and I wonder if it'd be a Bayface on Bayface match for Joe Hendry, and I wonder if it would be a TNA talent Joe Hendry winning the WWE title, and TNA has the WWE title. That would be kind of insane. Am I wrong? Just throwing stuff out there. I think, though, that right now, to me, it's going to be Javon Evans. JC Jane didn't lose to Lola Vice, which was pretty shocking, and I think everyone could agree with that. Now, I could throw Lola Vice as a dark horse. I could still see it happening. I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to go with some predictions I've had. My prediction is that it's going to be either or of Jordynne Grace or Blake Monroe. And the reason why I'm going to say either or is because they just had a fantastic steel cage match, and I think what's going to happen, maybe one goes on to get caught up like Jordynne Grace. I think what's going to happen is Jordynne Grace will beat JC Jane for the title, keep it for a month or two, and then they're going to have a trilogy in the final match of the two of them, and Blake Monroe will win the title. I think that's the route we go. I think I like that as the potential route. But maybe they just give it to Lola Vice, or maybe they give it to Blake Monroe, and then she loses to Lola Vice in the future. Could see that as well. I'm shocked Ethan Page still has his title, to be completely honest with you, but he's doing really good with it. I'm going to go with the person I've always in nonstop been saying, and that is Miles Bourne. I have not changed his prediction for a long time. I've said it's either Miles Bourne or Javon Evans, one or the other, blah, blah, blah. It still could be Javon Evans for Ethan Page. I'm going with Miles Bourne. I have a crazy prediction that I am predicting. I think that the one title in WWE will go over to TNA to make it not fair, but to make it a little bit more interesting. And I don't know who will do it, but I think it could be somebody that would later on in life be NXT talent. Maybe that is Joe Hendry now thinking about it, but that's not who I pick. Because I have absolutely no one right now to pick here. And I don't want Tavion Heights to win it, to be completely honest with you. I am choosing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm expecting him to somehow lose this TNA title and then afterwards go against Ethan Page for this. Or maybe it's a winner-takes-all type of match. I don't know. I'm booking Leon Slater. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know. I think they're trying to make him Mr. TNA now for TNA. And with that being said, I think why that's happening, and while they're doing that, I think what they're going to do is give him a WWE title onto TNA, and I can see it being the North American Championship. Sol Ruca, there's nothing changed here from ever ago. It's going to be Zarya. I'm not predicting speed championships. It's probably going to be Lainey Reed for the women's side. For the men's side, they don't have an idea. I don't have an idea. So Zarya is going to be here, and I think they're teasing it more and more and more and more and more and more and more every week. And then we have Jada Parker, who she just had a match with on Speed. Maybe that sets up them having this match. I don't know. Remember when I said I don't have an idea at all Dark State's going to do with these tag titles, and I don't know who they're going to go against? Well, I don't think WWE and NXT did either, so they just threw a winner-takes-all thing. So I think it is going to be the Hardy Boys. I think the Hardy Boys are going to win from them because at the end of the day, just makes more sense. I think they'll do wonders with it. Dark Horse, Chase U, any other tag team ever, I don't know, and that tag team's back on Raw, and there's not really that much movement. That's why we're probably going to go with who I've been saying, CM Punk. I think it just makes sense. I think Roman's going to interfere with their one-on-one for the title, going to let Punk win it. Punk's going to win it, hold it till Mania, setting up Seth versus Roman to happen at Mania as well. And Dark Horse, LA Knight, because I could see him being the one to do all that with. Stephanie Vaquera is very new now as a champion, and I love it. I think who I'm predicting are the two people I could see her going up against at Mania, plus Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's not one of them, just a hint. Number one is Becky Lynch. I think when she loses this IC title, I don't know what's going to happen for her. Like, she might try to fight back for a title, but I think what's going to happen is she's going to go for the actual title in the World Heavyweight Championship. And I see her and Stephanie having a feud. And honestly, that's a really good feud that I would really like. And I think Becky Lynch, it makes a lot of sense to go after her. Then I'm talking about Liv Morgan again. If she's a heel, I could see her with the Judgment Day going after this title, winning the Royal Rumble, going after Stephanie and winning it. Maybe she's a little slightly like a babyface and that happens. I could see a triple threat between the three in some way that the Vision forces herself into the match with Paul Heyman doing something. I could see that as well. So I am going to throw that out there as something that I would like to see. I really hope Dominic Mysterio doesn't lose to Rusev. I think maybe there's a feud for the future in that match. But I don't think Rusev is going to beat Dominic Mysterio. I just don't think that's going to happen. But maybe I eat my words. I think it makes a lot of sense it'll be Ilya Dragunov. Maybe what happens is it's Rusev to then Ilya Dragunov. I could see that happening, but I think it could be actually Ilya Dragunov to a Rusev. But I like this. I think we're long overdue on an Ilya Dragunov return, and I cannot wait for him to return and win this. Dark horse, and I have him as a dark horse because it's really dark horse, is John Cena, because at the end of the day, John Cena could win a title in Monday Night Raw. On the Raw, he returns, lose. Well, maybe his last opponent is Dominic Mysterio, and he dethrones Dominic Mysterio, going out on top as a Grand Slam champ, maybe? I don't know. All I'm saying, though, is that I see, what is it called? John Cena potentially doing it. I see Finn Balor. I think that makes a lot of sense. I see Penta, but that's who I'm predicting. Spoiled on this one, Becky Lynch is who I think is going to be dethroned soon out of everybody, and that is AJ Lee, because in my opinion, AJ Lee will probably go against her in Crown Jewel. She'll lose in Crown Jewel to Becky Lynch. Then they'll have Survivor Series. Then she probably wins it in December. So that's what I'm predicting. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think it just makes a lot of sense for the title. Looky here. I have another dark horse in case she doesn't win the Royal Rumble. I think this is the match they have at Mania. And it is Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. But to be honest with you, probably that's not going to happen. Instead, it's probably going to be Liv Morgan going and winning the Royal Rumble. So big dark horse, but there's no one else. I think it is AJ Lee or nothing else. The Judgment Day, I'm going with what I've been saying since the very beginning, since they won, and that is Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I've said that since the beginning. I changed it for a second when they did the Seth Rollins injury angle because I got screwed over and I didn't really believe he was injured. And then I'm going back to that. I think that makes sense. I think it could be the Usos, who I've been saying as well, but I really do believe it's one or the other. Just don't know who. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.